안녕하세요. So this is my last AKTF news before I go off to Korea, and it's finally time. I've written it down numerous times and edited and revised, and so I'm gonna tell you guys my complete story from my JYJ concert in LA, which was an amazing time. If you haven't heard about it already, so here we go. First things first, I was really excited about this concert, so I'm going to put it in some context. My friend who I got into K-pop, unfortunately, he's a VIP, but I tried to make him a Cassie. He bought the tickets and he, let me stay at his place. So I went all the way to LA as opposed to New Jersey because I live in Atlanta. So I went to LA and we were both really pumped about it, and I knew I wanted to get everything that could possibly come along with this concert. So, in doing so, we got there like 7 hours early. And I think the first thing that kind of jogged, like, I was just really excited to be in Los Angeles for one. I'd never been there. But I was just really excited. But what really put me over the edge and made me realize that I'm at a JYJ event was, we got there early, not so we could like wait in line or anything, just so we could explore the area. Because, LA Live, where the concert was in the Nokia Theater, is a fun area of LA. So we were going to explore, but right when we got there, 7 hours early, there were girls waiting behind the theater for JYJ, and I just was like, oh my god, like they are really people that will stand out there for hours waiting, and I just knew, and I wanted to say something, but I just knew that they weren't going to come until like much later. And so that was my first impression, like, oh my god, fangirls hanging out in the back of JYJ LA. And I had this weird feeling in the pit of my stomach from doing AKTF News. I didn't quite know what to expect going in to the concert. So I had a lot of emotions going on. First thing I went to do is I went to go eat at ESPN Zone right across from the theater. Had a lunch, tried to wait it out a little bit because we were there so early. Me and my friend, we just didn't know what to do. And at this point, about 6 hours before the concert started at 2, there was like no one outside the venue. Except for and then the girls that were in the back, and they consistently stayed there for like ever. Uh, so the next step was trying to figure out what to do. At this point, there were a couple of people trickling in, but there was a really great theater right next door, like a movie theater. So we were like, hey, we haven't seen The Hangover 2. If we do that, we'll still have plenty of time left over afterwards. So yeah, we had time to go eat lunch, like a full lunch. We watched some of the French Open, and then we went to see The Hangover 2, all in the vicinity of the theater. Went to go see it, thought it was hilarious. Got out, and then, like, in that 2 hour period of time after watching that movie, LA Live was just filled with people. Everyone in red, and Starbucks was packed, and I was like, man, where did these people come from? It's like they all, like, coordinated some time event, and when we got there I was like still a little bit like, I don't know, I was nervous maybe. I was just so excited, so many things going on in my head, but it was packed. We went to go eat dinner inside the plaza, still like inside the plaza again. There was another restaurant, Wolfgang Puck's, and but you could sit outside, so I wanted to watch like how fans interacted. And what I noticed is that like fans that came in groups or with a friend, they generally just stuck with that friend or in the group. They didn't really go out much past, like, there wasn't a lot of like big group socializing. And when it did happen, it was usually because maybe John, as you guys know, Egg on Twitter, like peeked out the door and like all the girls came rushing. And then after that, some of them started talking like, oh my God. There were some Yoonjae posters being signed and written out in front, and then eventually the DBSK Nights admin, which I didn't even like. It was kind of like, I don't know. I didn't really know who I was supposed to go to or what they looked like. There wasn't like a big sign in the air that said DBSK Nights, and I don't know people's faces, and that's what I realized is the one thing that I really don't like about this circumstance. Like, I love doing vlogs, I love talking on YouTube, I love connecting on Twitter and Facebook. But like the one thing that got me was people looked at me and they knew my face, and I didn't know their face, and I really, really wanted to, and that bugged me a lot. So like, for instance, the DBSK Nights admin, when I went up and got my light stick for me and my friend, I didn't know what she was supposed to look like. I don't know, maybe I should have researched, but I didn't, like, it wasn't something that everybody knew. So when I saw her, I was kind of, she was like, "Oh yeah, here's you go," and I was like, I want to say hello. I don't even know people's names, and it got frustrating at a certain point. But my friend Michael, will be the first one to tell you. He loved the light stick. We were both in red. He was having a good time. And after LA, after we ate the dinner, we just started walking around the crowd of people. And we knew well, he didn't, but I knew a lot of the people there, and it was a lot of fun to meet and talk with and be like, "Oh, I love this video that you did," or "I love this rant." And some girl I was walking by, she was just like, "Right on! I loved your rant about the JYJ, SM trial or whatever." And I was like, "Yeah, that's Cassie's. It was so much fun." The one thing that I take away that I didn't like that much is when people came up to me and said, like, "Can I take a picture of you?" And I was like, "No." Like, you don't take a picture of me. You can take a picture with me. And I'm serious, they just wanted to take a picture. And I was like, "No, no, no. Let's take a picture together." And that was, but I just loved connecting with so many people. We had such a good time waiting out there for maybe about an hour and a half to 2 hours before the concert door opened. Was real exciting. Then at like 30 minutes before, they queued up the lines and the people started walking out, and it was like a mad bull rush to the door, and the lines, like in less than 30 seconds, the lines went from not existing to like the Staples Center, like across the street. Like the lines were so long, and there was like 6 lines. And then I was like, dang, this might actually be filled, because I was worried in New Jersey. I didn't really know the venue in LA, so I didn't know how big it was. But in New Jersey, the Prudential Center was apparently really, really big, and it was not close to capacity, according to what my friends told me. And they said, you could kind of tell on JYJ's face that they were disappointed that it wasn't that many people. And I did not want that to happen in LA. So luckily, I walk in the theater. The theater is full of haze. It's like blue and dark, and they have some great intro music playing and the JYJ videos up. But the theater was the perfect size. I thought it was going to be past capacity because there was just so many people coming in, and the theater was just like a regular play or musical theater that wasn't super big. It was definitely intimate. It was close. And that feeling of just walking in and seeing the JYJ revolving visuals and in the fog, and I was just like blown away by how real this had become. Sitting there, and the rest was kind of history. The show, I mean, people have watched so many fan cams and stuff, so there's really not much for me to go into detail. But the one detail and funny story, the two details and funny stories I will say, was right before the concert started. The DBSK Nights admin, because I'm following DBSK Nights on Twitter, and I want to get people's updates and see where they are, because that's how I met a lot of people. They'd be like, "Where are you?" And I'd be like, "I'm here," on Twitter. I got the DBSK Nights picture. She's like, "I took a picture with Junsu's dad," and I was like, "Oh my god, that is so awesome! I want to take a picture with Junsu's dad." And right as I said that, walking in front of my seat was Junsu's dad. So I freaking jumped like a kangaroo over the railing, and I was like, "Can I get a picture with you?" And he was like, "No, no, 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 no." And I was like, "Oh, because he obviously didn't understand what I was saying." And I was like, Picture?" Like, I didn't know how to say it in Korean. And then so he was still like, "No." And then there was this Asian girl next to me, and I just like pointed to her, and I was like, "Picture?" And he was like, "Yeah." And I didn't really have time to think about it, so I was like, "Great, take a picture." I was like, Michael, take a picture of us." It's like me, Junsu's dad, and the girl, like, we're kind of all together. He smiled really quick, took the picture, and he walked away. And the absurdity didn't hit me until after he walked away. My friend Michael was like, he only said he was going to take the picture with you after you pointed to the Asian girl, right? And I was like, "Yeah, I guess." But no matter what, it turns out that Asian girl was a friend of my friend Michael that was there. So like we ended up talking, but it was just we laughed so hard that he wouldn't take a picture with me, but he would when I was with an Asian girl. And I was like, "That's so Junsu's dad, man." And he was so awesome, so nice. My best picture. But the worst part of the concert was right in the middle of the concert. To the left of me, I know this is getting long. To the left of me was a Chinese Cassie, and she had a Mickey light stick. She was obviously Mickey biased, like Mickey Stan maybe. I don't know. She was Mickey crazy. And she had like the Mickey Mouse ears because celebrating his birthday, whatever. She was like singing, and even during like Jaejung's solo or like Junsu's solo, she'd be like, "You chat! You chat!" And she'd be screaming Yucha, and I'm like, "Girl, settle down. This is Jaejung solo. Like, come on, give him some like peace. Like, not Yuchan." And then like halfway through the concert, me and my friend Michael we noticed that she got quiet. We were like, "Why are you getting quiet?" So we look over to her, and it turns out she's just like sobbing like in her face. She still got her light stick up, but she's like sobbing like you can. And we were like, man, this girl's crazy. And I knew that it hit a point when she took her light stick and Yuchen like walked on stage and she got so excited that she like hit me. She was like, ah! She hit me in the head with her light stick, and I looked at her. I can't even tell you the look of just horror I gave this girl. Like, you just beat me upside the head with a Mickey Uchun light stick. Like, I'm so upset. And she just looked at me like, oh, sorry. And then, like, she didn't even apologize. She didn't say anything. She just looked at me, and then she went back to screaming for Uchun. And I was like, dang, that could have knocked. If that had been anything but like plastic, that would have knocked me out because it was hard. But then the concert ended. They were amazing. I was blown away. My friend was blown away. I love being a part of the Red Ocean, beating them to the music. It was insane. And then after the concert was over, everyone crowded the back of the theater, hoping to see if we can get a glimpse at JYJ walking out. And of course, we didn't get it. They had a storage thing, and then they all got in their vans in the storage thing, and then they just kind of drove out the back. They waved through the van with their cell phones to like show that it was us, but we didn't really get to see their face. Um, and what I think was, and so we were all kind of sad about that, but we still screamed like crazy when the car drove by. And yes, I was in the back with everyone because at that point everyone was in the back of the theater, waiting for them. Um, what was a bad decision, I think, on JYJ's part was to have the hotel they were staying at be right around the corner. So they drove out of the back of the theater and then they took a right at the street and that was their hotel. And all the fans saw it. And so, me and my friend, we got in our car. We were like, whatever, it was a great concert. We're just going to drive away. We're not going to follow. We're not crazy. We're not going to follow him. But then my friend texted me like, if you're a fan guy, they will want to take a picture with you for sure. They'll see you as long as you are chill and out of the way and you're wearing red. They'll know. And I was like, oh, well then let's take advantage of this. We drove by. We see them their cars at the hotel. And I get the valet. We pull up and we just wait in their lobby. But we look outside and the fans are going crazy. They're like touching the car and the security is trying to get them away. There's like at least 20 or 30 fans like around the car. And there was no way JYJ could get out. There was just no way. And I'm sitting in the back of the lobby, like chilling, looking over there like, man, now I just don't even want to be like, do I want to see them and like meet them and take a picture with them? Yeah, but I think you can be calm and cool and like wait it out. And if they see you, like, be like, hey, what's up, man? Like over the crowd of people, maybe they'll see and take a picture and like shake your hand. But not if you're like banshee, like I don't even know. They were going so crazy. Like I was scared. Honestly. Um, and so after that, the cars ended up just driving away. Word on the street is they went to Koreatown, and Junsu was just in his room with his family. But he got there before any of the fans got to the hotel. So I waited there for like 30 to 45 minutes, and then I was like, because I was still meeting other Cassies that I hadn't met before the concert that knew me and that I knew. So I didn't have that bad of a time. And then afterwards, I was like, it's not worth it to wait there forever. I'm not gonna be like a stalker fan. I would have said hey had they walked by, but I'm not gonna like stay here till they come back. That's just weird. So I left and drove back. We ended up taking one of the Cassies from the concert home because she lived in California, which was nice. Some personal connection, me and Michael and this girl, which was fun, and we had a great time. So that was my JYJ concert experience. Of course, there's like tons of little tiny details in there, but the video's already run like a million hours long. If you have any like specific questions, I might have specific answers. Honestly, that concert was eye-opening for me in the fandom and just everything, and I had a great time. So yeah, that is the last AKTF news for the summer, I guess, until I get back from Korea. But I'll still be uploading vlogs from Korea like constantly, but I won't be under like AKTF news because I'll be just blogging about my time in Korea, which will be awesome. So you should check that out later. And leave your comments and stuff below and get in contact with me and follow me on Twitter because I'm there talking with you. So peace out. Always keep the faith.